Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Thank you, one and all, for being here. Uh, okay, so let me see who was here first. Just out of curiosity. Lydia Washington, thank you so much for being here first. Well, I'm going to skip the greetings since we started much later than even I'm comfortable with. So, um, hey, Black Queen. I'm going to just go ahead and get started here. Well, you guys, um, for the big computer, I spent hours, and I do mean hours, at the computer store. Well, at the Apple store. My 2015 iMac 27-inch with that beautiful HD high resolution. Anyway, the picture still looks good, but the innards are gone. Um, Not a whole lot they can do with it. So they said that if you're lucky, you might get another year out of it. But otherwise, it's the end of the road for the big computer, for the older computer. And all this time, I thought it was a 2016. It's a 2015. So, couple years and the technology is already old. They called my excuse me, they called my computer vintage. Vintage. I'm like, this thing is a 2016. No, it's a 2015. So, yeah, that's the end of the road. It's too bad too because it's such a nice computer, but it, you know, how does the song go? Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Well, it ain't the same no more. But it was fun while it lasted. Anyway, that's enough about that. The good news is at least I have the other computer um, with the little screen. It's 16 inches, but that's not a baby boomer friendly size, but that's okay. I'm going to get another monitor and I'll use this PC with a different monitor and it won't make a difference. So that'll be my next project. But yeah, I'm just, the thing is, and I was listening to um, Petal talk about this earlier, and Petal said for whatever reason you get attached to your computer. You know how Petal was constantly trying to fix her computer, and I'm not even sure I'm done with this one yet, but they were adamant about the fact that it's a little bit too old to salvage. But um, yeah, you get attached to it, and I have spent hours on that thing. I mean, days and days and days. And I just can't believe it's over. But pretty much that's what they said. So, I mean, you know, it'll be okay. At least we got the other computer and it works super fast. It's very efficient. And yeah, it'll be fine. So, anyway, enough about that. Uh, Uh, I know I say that like I'm truly ready to let go, but I'm not. I want my computer. But don't worry about it, you guys. It's just a material thing. Uh, what am I looking? Oh, okay. Aha, there we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't need that. Oh, what is she doing here? Oh, okay, I don't need that either. Really? Do I need that? No, I don't need that. Okay, so let me get the slides up and we are going to rock and roll. Um by the way, happy new year if I haven't wished you a happy new year as of yet. But happy new year and thank you so much for being here. And I got a feeling 2024 is going to be just spectacular and I'm looking forward to it. So Um, and thank goodness I'm here, right? Thank goodness we're all here. I'm just like, am I really in 2024? I remember, when I was younger and I would, you know, I'd see like the turn of the century, and I'm just like, am I really going to be there? And guess what? I'm here. We're all here. And what a blessing that is. I feel blessed anyway, and I hope everybody else does too. But it just is so weird that it's the turn of the century. Well, that we've made it past the turn of the century, I'm trying to say. And now it is 2024. It seems so far away back in the 1970s and 80s, and now we're here. Now it's upon us, and it is hauntingly normal. So, okay, ready to put my slides up, and all right. I was doing just one last little thing there. Okay. Oh yeah, and by the way, the data from the other computer cannot be retrieved. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that data is lost. But that's okay. I can salvage most of it because I still have the unedited videos. You know what I mean? So a lot of that I can salvage, and I know I can. So again, not to worry. There we go. No, let's see, lies and leaks, no leaks, abdication fever. I am repurposing this thumbnail. I've used it before. You might recognize it, but I'm going to repurpose this one. Hello, Cookies and Cream, Stevie Ross. All right. And let's go. Happy New Year again. Happy New Year. And thank you for being here. I'm so glad we all are here. And one more Happy New Year. Look at the icy Lake Michigan. This was back in the days before global warming. You can see the view south from I want to say that's Lincoln Park. Yeah. And you can see the Hancock Center, the Sears Tower, all of those. Beautiful, beautiful lakeshore. If you've never been to Chicago, it is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Hi, Joan Garcia. So take a look here. BBC Backlash is viewers blast King Charles coronation propaganda documentary. So I spoke about this before, right? But I didn't know that there was actually an article. The Express, they're for and against the royal family all at the same time, mostly for them, but every so often they will share some criticisms and then quickly delete it or whatever. But there you go. Okay, let me get on with that. All right, so you can see BBC Backlash as viewers blast King Charles coronation propaganda documentary. Viewers of the King Charles III, the coronation year, have slammed the BBC over its 90-minute behind-the-scene documentary about the monarch. The BBC has been slammed for airing a 90-minute documentary about the King's coronation in May, with armchair critics at home calling it propaganda. The documentary followed King Charles and Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort. I haven't forgot the Queen Consort through the first year of their reign for the BBC One. For BBC One, that is, behind the scenes special. However, the program has been met with mixed reactions from viewers. King Charles III's coronation took place on May the 6th, 2023, as we all know, inside Westminster Abbey, London, and the 75-year-old monarch's life as king has been documented as part of the BBC Boxing Day special. With exclusive access to the king and queen consort, the film looks into preparation for the coronation as well as the event itself. The King Charles family and friends also provided their insight on how the sovereign plans to reshape the monarchy. Well, he better start now because he ain't gonna have much time. The program also focuses on Queen Camilla's journey. Okay, one more time. The program also focuses on Queen Camilla's journey, with the 76-year-old being crowned the first queen consort since 1937. What journey might that have been? Um, I don't know why I picture this. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop. I'm not going to go there. Hey, Church Nelly, but she's been on a journey. Joanna Hong, thank you so much for being here. Maggie Howe, hello. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. So here it says, during the program, the monarch met with Princess Trust patrons and goodwill ambassadors, including Aunt McPartlin and Declan Donnelly. The cameras also went behind the scenes to interview people who were involved in making the coronation happen, including the Prince and Princess of Wales. As well as this, Princess Anne was interviewed about losing her mother, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and her brother ascending the throne. However, viewers were divided over the documentary, with many lashing out over it on X, formerly known as Twitter. One viewer penned, "The BBC is supposed to be a public service broadcaster, not the propaganda wing of the royal family. They should be holding Charles to account, not producing sycophantic dribble like this." Sick. Let's see. Jerry remarked, "Ooh, I wonder if that's Jerry White." Jerry remarked, "The BBC calls Charles III the Coronation Years a documentary, when this is uncritical propaganda for the royals." Now, remember how they treated the Sussexes when they had their Harry and Meghan docuseries. Remember how rude they were about the Sussexes having a chance to tell their story for the first time without interruption, without commercial breaks, without it being put away in the vault and never being seen again. So the King Charles, all right, where would I leave off here? Hannah says the King Charles and Menagerie propaganda program, and it was on for over an hour and a half, has just dropped. Pretty shocking from the BBC. Another viewer said, BBC Charles documentary doing the monarchy no favor at all. A modern monarch needs to be willing to be seen to uh, be challenged challenged every now and again, not just meeting a carefully selected series of unconscious men. What is that? No, wait, no, not unconscious. What is that word? Something men. Un yes, no. What is that? Un unctitious, unctuous. Oh, unctuous. Oh gosh, I don't know what that is. Anyway, despite the backlash, other viewers enjoyed the program, which comes a day after more than 5 million people tuned in. I'm sorry, to watch the King's speech on Christmas Day. No said, "I really love the candid Boxing Day production of His Majesty King Charles the first year. Absolutely fabulous way to modernize the monarchy. Would absolutely love to see more. God save the king." Ugh. Well, they found their target audience. Let's see. Yvonne Alexander remarked, "I am loving this behind the scene peek into the coronation year, particularly Princess Anne's brilliantly honest and witty insight, fascinating and beautifully put together. with amazing access. Well done, all involved. So I think that article was pretty fair from the Express. I think it was very balanced. So often they will do that. They will give you a balanced report, and I'm glad for it. High time that they do that. Uh, okay, let me see if you guys have any comments before we move on. Hi, Miss S. Yeah, what the heck is that? Anyway, Kathy G. Treacherous Journey of the Art of, what is that? Side piecery. Side piecery? Did you just make that word up, side piecery? Let me see. Oh, there we go. Black Queen says, ever since Harry and Meghan did a docuseries, now the Unroyals are copying and still failing. And oh, YM Droid says, journey from the rural barn to the royal bed. From a roll in the hay to a gallop to the throne. Not easy to climb a ladder on your back, but Camilla did it. I remember she trundled, remember the word, she trundled into the Westminster Abbey. But you know what? This reminds me of something. Let me see if I can find that. This does remind me of something that I had. And it was, I guess, an accusation someone made some time ago. Let me see here. Also, I'm going to just tell you, when it comes to the BBC was rejected by William and Kate. Kate only does her Christmas Carol for, is it Sky or what is the other one? Oh gosh, what is the other one? Anyway, they won't do it on the BBC. And then let us not forget, William made that declaration against the BBC because of the interview with Princess Diana and Panorama. So William has it in for the BBC. So I believe that the royal family has browbeaten and threatened the BBC so much. Like when they had that documentary of the, remember the one about the two brothers, the two princes? And they watered it down so much that it didn't even, actually, Omid Scobie's voice, you could see Omid was muted at a certain point because they did not want Omid, they didn't want his comment out there, so they muted Omid during that. And of course, that was the BBC. So the BBC is not on good terms with the royal, either one of the royal households right now. So they are using coercion and threats to remove access to get their way. And I suppose it's working. I mean, otherwise, why else would they do it? So all of a sudden, this makes sense. Let me find that for you. There it is. There it is. Now, all of a sudden, this makes sense. BBC, Ministry of Propaganda. And that appears to be exactly what it is, a Ministry of Propaganda. MR, thank you so much for the no, it's a Cash App. Thank you so much for the Cash App, and thank you for being here and watching Royal Sussex. Oh, that was nice and deep that time. But yeah, that is what it is, the propaganda ministry. It is a wing, an extension of the press office at the Kensington Palace, or at the Clarence House. But yeah, the BBC is actually doing the bidding of the royal family. And let's not forget also that they were given instructions of what to remove. The Clarence House gave instructions to all of the British media, television, that is, to remove certain things from their replay. So when they replayed the Coronation, certain things were missing, like empty places where there were jumbotrons and no people. A lot of that stuff was, I don't want to say deleted, but it did not make the replay. And that was at the request of the palace. So that's what they're talking about. That was the request of the palace. And this is a thing now. And the BBC, out of fear of losing favor with the royal family, is going to acquiesce. They are going to do as they're told. They are going to straighten up and fly right. Otherwise, risk losing any privileges they may have with the royal family. It's amazing that they can do that, but that is what they're doing. They're using good old fashioned coercion and the threat of lack of access to get their way. And it's the same thing they did with ABC when there was that thing with Amy Robach when she wanted to do that story about oh, what's his name? They said, "Oh no, oh no." The palace told ABC that if you want any future ability to cover weddings and funerals and anything else, you had better not run that story. And they did not. Um, which is interesting considering that the Cambridge wedding was so boring that they actually cut back on their coverage at NBC, I think it was. They cut back on the coverage. Okay, so, all right, taking a look at any more comments. Oh, there we go. It moved. I could never forget a cruelty royals, especially Charles and his former mistress. I do not remember tampon scandal. And thank you for 9 months. Congratulations on your 49K. Thank you so much, TMCD. And Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Oh, there we go. I got to take that away there. So, and then if that wasn't interesting enough, then we have this. So there is a paywall which does not allow me to get into that article, but another nice distraction, another way to say we are very much not a racist family. We love Black people. Kensington Palace turns spotlight on rich and diverse lives of its royal servants, from female rat catcher I wonder if there was someone running around trying to catch the royal rota. You think? Is that what they mean by rats? Because we all know that the royal rota is Old Latin for rodent. A rota is Latin for rodent. So, did they have some woman running around the palace trying to catch the royal rota? Of course, desperate times call for desperate measures. So, you have to go and get a mutant cat. You need a mutant feline to catch those royal rodents. Yeah, you need something a little bigger, beefier, and scarier. Something with yellow eyes and sharp fangs. That's what you need to eliminate the royal rota at the Kensington Palace. Let's see. Kensington Palace turned spotlight on. Yeah. So apparently they are doing a report on the very diverse staff that they've had. Now, in the days of empire, just like with the Roman Empire, you had people that would sometimes come back to the so-called motherland. And in particular, they love people from India and Africa. And also, excuse me, there were quite a few Native Americans that, if they did not die from the diseases, might find themselves on show or in service over in the UK or other places in Europe. So that was not unusual, to have a diverse collection of servants. But um, the idea that they want to start talking about it at this particular time is obviously linked to their propaganda to try to make the royal family seem more open to people of color, even though they have done everything they could to drive the Duchess of Sussex away from that family, and then tried to overshadow her image with all of the cosplay, right? So, um, if you ask me, they are trying to do everything they can to erase the memory of not only the Duchess of Sussex, but they are still sending their hounds, their wolves, their rats out to television and documentaries, and even um, articles in the tabloids and magazines, that one way after the other, it downplays any contribution of Princess Diana. And also, they did not adequately show the real Diana in The Crown. It was more palace propaganda. They literally have Peter Morgan by his crown jewels. And they get their way. They get their way. Okay, let me see if there's any comments. Let me see. Levy says, as servant, are they for real? How are they? I mean, this is how they show their diversity. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, to show your diversity by saying we've had servants of various races. I mean, the one that comes to mind for me is John Brown, not John Brown, but oh gosh, what is his name? Muhammad, whatever his name was, that was teaching Queen Victoria Sanskrit, I think it was. He was Indian, but he was of the Muslim faith, if I recall. And when Queen Victoria died, when Queen Victoria died, his family was cut off, and any correspondence and such with her Indian adopted child, if you will, was eliminated. They wanted to make sure that that family lost any profits from being a part of the royal household and just about everything else. Very, 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 very brutal. They kicked them out of their cottage, right? If I recall, I think they kicked them out of their cottage. Whatever plans Queen Victoria had for um, that particular servant, who was, more like a scholar to Queen Victoria, that I think they even investigated his family to prove to Queen Victoria that they were from the lower caste or something like that. Very wicked the way they do those things. Let's see. Judy Matassa says, Baron, they have a law for royals that says they will not be charged for not having people of color working for them. It has been in effect since 1968. You mean that the exemption that the Queen requested at the time when it was a civil rights movement in the US and I suppose in the UK. And they wanted to make sure that the people that worked anywhere in Britain were protected by law, right? But the exception was the royal household. And not only did it have to do with the civil rights of people working in the royal household, but they were also exempt from taxes. They were exempt from environmental things. There were a whole list of things because they had the queen had the queen's prerogative, which means that any law that was being written would go to be reviewed by the queen. And if it was something she didn't like, it was omitted. And then they would send it back with whatever protection or courtesies or whatever, exceptions that was needed by the monarch, which is shady AF. But I guess one of the reasons why it was so easy to do that is because remember, you cannot call a monarch to bear witness, which means that the monarch is above the law. You can't arrest anyone in the presence of the monarch unless the monarch gives consent. I mean, there's a lot of those things that a lot of people don't know about when you hear people yell it's a free country, freedom of speech, but yet you're still not a citizen, you are a subject. You're not a citizen, you are a subject. The waterways that surround the British Isles, or well, not all the British Isles, but Britain, the UK, that belongs to the crown. And there's a lot of stuff like that that people just don't know about. But thank you for the reminder, Judy. But yes, there's a lot of things that is baked into the cake that is there to protect the monarch. So that's why there was no investigation for cash for honors. They were just waiting for the queen to go. And then after that, it was a non issue because Charles is now untouchable. Do you know that the queen consort, Charles III, and the Emperor of Japan, I believe they are the only people in the world that do not travel with a passport. I believe that the Queen, I don't think the Queen's ever had a passport or a driver's license. The monarch does not require a driver's license. It's considered redundant because all of those things are in their name. It's the King's Court, the King's this, the King's that, the Royal Air Force, whatever. If it's in their name, then it's considered redundant. Thank you so much for your comment. Leg says, I don't know who their PR people are. My guess is male, stale, and pale. People of color can be your servants, entertainers, but cannot be your equals. Meghan is intelligent, beautiful, graceful, and everything they aren't. So, yeah, thank you so much for that, Lex. You know, I heard something. I told you guys I saw that interview with Damon Wilson, and the interview drifted into a bit of conspiracy theory. But let me tell you, the one thing that he said that stuck out is something I believe to be true, and I've always have believed it to be true. When you see those people go to Eton and go on to King's College and all that kind of stuff, when they go to Cambridge and Oxford, you'll notice that no matter what country, like even what's his name, the Kim Jong Un or whatever his name is of North Korea, world leaders send their kids off to certain schools in Europe for an education, especially the United Kingdom. There are so many people in power today that have been educated at some point or another in the United Kingdom. Even Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar and spent some time in Europe. So those schools are not there to tell you or teach you Black history or anything like that. They are teaching you to rule the world. And there are people that still believe in the ruling class, especially the aristocrats. If you're an aristocrat, especially in the UK, if you're an aristocrat, chances are you're always going to be a part of that elite ruling class. And that is part of the education. So, not everyone, of course, but if you go to certain schools, then it is assumed that you have a future as a leader in this world. And a lot of the foreign students that are from monarchies themselves or whatever, or from some, uh, I guess you could say, um, unelected head of state, meaning, of course, sometimes a dictator or whatever. A lot of them get that Western education at exclusive elite schools, just like Harvard is a school for people that are either going to, be a judge, a senator, in politics in some way. We have that in the US. We do. We have some very elite people. I mean, think about Hillary Clinton with her Ivy League degree. Um, Barack Obama with his Ivy League degree, right? I think so. Michelle Obama, double Ivy League. I mean, there's a lot of very powerful people that end up in some powerful positions because of those educations. So it's it's not a surprise. It really is not a surprise, and that is why when it comes to the media in the UK in particular, the British media, what was it, 73% of the editors come from upper class families. And what is it, 80% of, no, is it 85% of the journalists also come from a somewhat elite, posh background? That is no accident. There's no room for outsiders. I think Black representation in the British media is about 4%, right? Or is it 0.4%? Very small. So the people that's trying to convince the world that there nothing to look at, there's no racism here, almost unanimously are white. They're white people telling us that there's no racism. Right. Anyway, thank you so much, Lex. Oh, please make sure you hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. Oh, thank you so much, Black Queen. Okay. Was that going on too much? I don't see any other comments. Let me see. Oh, well, Winsome Jones says, you're right, Baron. And the armed forces is above the police. Yeah, the ruling class, there is a ruling class in every country, and they operate outside the law, above the law. There are certain people who couldn't go to jail if they hit you in the behind with a red apple. They are just not going to go to jail. They're not going to do the time. And if anything, they're able to buy their way out of it. So that's just the way it is. It's been like that for a long time. Let's see. Yes, they forced that Black president resign from Harvard. Everything is anti Semitism, but nobody gets enraged with racism against Blacks who were viciously enslaved for 400 years to date. Exactly. Exactly. You know, they, I think that they use certain Black professors and such or faculty to attract people to those schools. But eventually, they, if there's any heat, the first chance they get, they dump them. Like, isn't what's her name? she's a professor at Stanford. Oh gosh, what is her name? Angela Davis. Isn't she a professor at Stanford? You know, when the coast is clear, when things settle down, they want to attract controversial, people to some of these big universities. But when the heat is on, they're very quick to dump them. They will cancel them in a millisecond. They do that all the time, especially especially if it has to do with anti-Semitism, misogyny sometimes, but anti-Semitism, that seems to be a rule. You got to go, brother. Okay, let me see here. I desperately need to clean my glasses. Give me a second, you guys. These things are a horror. They're all smudged. And you know what else I need? I don't even need to say it. I need my humidifier. I'm going to grab a Ricola, courtesy of Connie Balmer. Grab a Ricola. Hopefully that will help. Now, let's try that again. Let's try that again, shall we? Love, love, love Ricola. Lex says Harvard incident reminds me of Vanessa Williams. They were trying to dump that lady. Remember the one after the Queen died? And she spoke about her ancestors and the Mau Mau uprising and such in Kenya. Remember, they wanted to get rid of her. They really wanted to get rid of her. But I think she kept her job. I think so, just barely. But thank you, Legs. And thank you, Black Queen. Okay. Now, so I want to show you this. When I went to Kensington Palace, I took this photo. That is the big grand staircase. Now, a lot of that is faux painting. It looks like it's got all the trims and everything, almost like it's a Renaissance space, but there are elements of Kensington Palace that is, created in the Renaissance style. However, certain things they just couldn't afford, so they painted things that would have been plaster, like beveled or raised plaster or whatever. They painted it. So there are no sculptures up there. Those are not sculptures. There are no sculptures in a niche up there. Those are painted. Now, this is what I noticed. I don't know. I don't remember what part of this oh gosh, I don't remember what part it was, but as you can see the I guess you can call it a blackamore. But anyway, it seems as though he's being pushed over the banister, like this is like the very last corner of that space. But you always find something like this in every house. Actually, most of the major houses in Europe, I'm willing to guess you somewhere there's some representation of a blackamoor like sculpture, painting. There's something somewhere. Very fashionable to have black servants. Some of them were servants, some of them were slaves. There was like a little gray area there. But those that were free, there were some that tended to do very well for themselves. There was a shipwreck. I think I spoke about that before. There was a shipwreck, and they brought Africans who had a fine tradition of diving, and they had them go down to excavate this shipwreck to bring up whatever treasure that was lost. So um, there's very few depictions of free black people in Europe, especially prosperous black people, people who were well respected. There are not as many depictions of them. A lot of them have been lost to history, but there are also quite a few examples that have survived. And sometimes you can find these paintings that you could tell that the person obviously was well respected, well regarded, but they just don't have a name for him. So who knows who the model was that inspired this? Maybe they'd have it listed there and I just didn't see it. But that is Kensington Palace. Now we're going to move on to something else because I have a soundbite for you. I do have a soundbite for you. Oh, okay. I do have a soundbite for you. Let me grab that. Abigail Spencer. Abigail Spencer, who sometimes looks so much like Meghan, it is haunting. They almost seem like twin sisters sometimes. You know, at just the right moment, at just the right angle, sometimes I cannot tell them apart. And then other times it's just obvious that they're two different people. But let me grab that for you.
Walking around Europe, and I was like, when did I get so famous? Like, I was so much more famous than I had ever been. And I didn't have any new projects. Like, Extended Family was on hold for the moment. And so I'm walking around. I mean, people knew my first and my last name. I mean, that's famous. I was like, what? And so then I woke up the next morning after this kind of series of weeks of this happening. And I was on a group text with the cast and with the creators. And they were like, surprise, you know, it's billions of streams, the number one show on Netflix, I mean, really in the world. And also it was during the strike, so we couldn't talk about it. We couldn't promote it.
Right.
But man, I mean, what a thing with streaming, that things can come back. Walking around Europe, and I was like, when did I get so famous? Like,
yeah, so she didn't realize that Suits was doing so well on Netflix. And then all of a sudden she finds out that Suits has been like number one streaming for weeks. And well, at the start of it, she found out, but for weeks and weeks and weeks, there was like this big rebirth of interest in Suits. And, you know, she went from being, you know, almost unnoticed to every place she goes, people knew not only who she was, but first and last name. Not the character's name, but first and last name, which is really cool. You know you have arrived when people are not calling you by the character name, but they're calling you by your name. Abigail Spencer. So that is pretty cool. Oh, you think she's been getting some touch-ups? Let me see. Abigail Spencer is starring in a new TV show coming to NBC. Okay. Did not know that. Okay. Okay, anything else? Call me N or B word. Spit and touch my hair. Huh? I don't know what that is. Okay, maybe that's nothing I should bother with. Oh, there was more to it. Oh. Uh-huh. Was there more to it? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave that be. Stevie Ross says, just don't know. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't like how they try and sometimes succeed in pitting people of color against one another, but I will continue to keep hope for more togetherness in this new year. Oh, thank you for saying it, Stevie Ross. Rose, that is. You are going to get a bell. Thank you for saying that. Well said. Okay, and then of course there is the clever blend. In case you missed it yesterday, I'm going to say it again today. You can purchase your clever blend. Your clever blend. They made a deal with Target, and so now you can go to Target for your clever blend. Um, yeah, it's available at Target. And of course, our Duchess is a major investor in the Clever Blend. So I am so glad for that. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Plus, it is a product that is developed by a woman entrepreneur and women's empowerment. You know, that's what our Duchess is about. So is a win-win for everybody, and it creates jobs, right? It helped the people at Target bring in new business. So win, 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 win. As you can see, they changed the logo. I think the font that they use for Clever Blend looks a little different, but you still have your super latte, your what is it, coffee super latte, the chai, the matcha green tea or whatever. You got that. So I wonder if there's only the three flavors and they're going to add some more later. I mean, I guess it would make sense if you're going to do a massive distribution like that, that you would want to keep it simple at the start and then slowly ratchet up with other flavors because there's so many other products competing for shelf space. So if these do extremely well, which I have no doubt that they will, then they will make room for some other flavors to be introduced. So looking forward to that. So congratulations to founder Hannah Mendoza and the team at Clever Blends. Big things ahead in 2024 as the brand gains distribution in Target. Nicely timed with their viral video featuring angel investor Meghan Markle, women supporting women. Shop Target for a wide assortment of Clever Blend. Choose from same day delivery, drive up, or the order pickup. I wonder then if there will be more than just the three. They said a wide assortment, so I hope so. I hope so. I hope they have like a variety pack, where you can just buy like what, six different kind or however many they have that they can like have a whole kit, including that thermos, that little thermal cup. That would be cool. Oh, and speaking of which, I think it was Lisa that purchased my simple modern cup. Do you know this thing is in use every day? I'm using this simple modern 40-ounce thermal cup. So thank you again. I love this thing. And I'm just proud of it. I mean, it's so handy. It's got the gigantic straw and it has like the matte finish, big, easy to grip handle. And it keeps things ice cold all day long. I could pack it before I go to bed. And when I wake up, there's still plenty ice and plenty water inside of it. So very cool. I can see why these things are so popular. All right. Abigail was also a great great series called Wheel of Time. It was so good. Did not know that. There are two sets of justice in this world, one for the massa and one for us. It'll never I'm sorry, I'll never understand the colonial mindset of these tap dancing fools. Uh, oh, thank you, Lydia Washington. I'm so glad you put that there because I wanted to tell you guys that I have a couple of items in my mailbox and I'll probably get those Saturday because I'm expecting some other stuff. So I'll probably grab that Saturday. But thank you to whoever sent some items to the Royal Sussex wish list. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, probably this weekend I will grab it and thank you in advance. And the fun part is I don't know what it is, so that's always the fun part is discovering what is waiting for me. So again, I will grab it this weekend and thank you so much in advance. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can put that at the top of the chat. There we go. Now, no one, and I do mean no one, is obliged to order anything from the official Royal Sussex wish list. However, if you choose to, there are some very modestly priced items there. Mostly, I get a big kick out of the fact that I don't know what it is until I get it. And well, yeah, so thank you so much in advance again. So let me see here. What am I trying to do? That and that. Is that working? Yes, it is. Okay, very cool. But yeah, these cups are really there's a viral video out there where they had the red Stanley cups, I guess. They had the red Stanley cups. And by the way, the Stanley cups, I have seen them as high as $85. That is how popular the Stanleys are. This is the Simple Modern, which is what Meghan was using. And I promise you, this is quality through and through. You don't need to spend as much as the cost of a Stanley cup. However, the Stanley cups are very nice, and there is a reason why so many people are buying them. But there's also a lot of other companies that are producing similar cups that are, right on par when it comes to the quality. So you don't have to pay a lot to get that quality, but the Stanleys are the ones that are trending. And so people are paying above price because they want that Stanley name. And I'm sure the Stanley quality, but I am doing just as well with my Simple Modern cup. So, yeah, but that's the thing right now is everybody wants these 40-ounce cups. And you know what? I'm not knocking it because if it encourages people to drink more water, which is something that a lot of people never have enough of, then it's not hurting anybody, right? Yeah, they're a little expensive, but it will do so much for your health in the long run. So why not? Professor Melissa Murray, love her. Just re-upping this because it's a new year. And once again, the Daily Fail insists on having a go at a woman who earns her own money and is not publicly funded. Y'all know who she's talking about when she says not publicly funded. Okay, so Meghan earns her own money and she's not publicly funded, but yet she is constantly being vetted and picked apart by the Daily Fail as though she's running for governor or something. So as you can see, from December 29, 2022, the Daily Fail stays exhausting. She's not publicly funded. She makes her own money and she can do and buy what she wants. So I guess she must have seen the most recent thing about Meghan and decided to go and find the old article and tweet it again. So you can see she's really tweeting, retweeting herself there so she can demonstrate, which is exactly what I did yesterday, if you recall. And by the way, Dr. Melissa Murray is Team Sussex. You can see where it says Royal Sussex up there in the top corner. There's a big giant image of Meghan up there on her top shelf, in a pride of place position in her library. And here is what she's talking about. So on the left side, and I just discovered that I had these two yesterday. There's Kate's most expensive fashion year yet. Princess of Wales wore a record 176,664 pounds worth of new clothes in 2022. And doing the most again, the Daily Mail goes after Meghan. Duchess Hollywood value of Meghan Markle's wardrobe boomed to um, 79,000 pounds in 2022, despite stepping back from royal duty. As if Meghan is dressing as a member of the royal family at this point, as if Meghan is somehow so Hollywood. And believe me, they're saying Hollywood, they mean something very negative about that, because Hollywood is like the go-to name for anything that is what they call a West Coast, left coast elitist environment. They just call it Hollywood. The term Hollywood is overused. You could have someone in another part of the country, not just the state of California, but another part of the country. And if there's anything that seems like it's a celebrity, an entertainer and celebrity, the first thing they do is say Hollywood. Hollywood is a catch-all. All right. And then let's get to boomed. So it's not enough to say increased, but in order to show the dire situation that Meghan is in, they have to tell you that her wardrobe boomed to 79,000 pounds, which we don't know what Meghan pays for. We don't know how much Meghan pays. Now, I'm going to just tell you like this. As a royal, you are able to have a selection of clothes brought to you. You pick and choose what you want, and they will charge you a fair price. And I'm going to even go out on a limb and say, Kate is not necessarily paying the full price. Meghan is certainly not necessarily paying the full price. We don't know, but that's not the point. The point is, you can make this accusation about Meghan because it's open season on the Sussexes, but you dare not say this about Kate because she is protected, assuming that she is protected, likely, allegedly protected by whatever settlement, that deal that that William made. Instead of being able to um, sue them for money, he took a settlement of over £1 million. And it seems like part of that settlement is, we want your brother and sister-in-law, and we won't mess with you. Allegedly. I'm alleging that. So there is some type of quid pro quo there, or some agreement, whatever it is. Suddenly, negative stories about the Cambridges stopped. Horrific stories about the Sussexes not only continued, but they ramped up. They were more salacious than ever. Let me see. Greetings and I'm sorry. Let me do this. Annie Bennett. Greetings and compliments of the season Baron and all of our beloved squaddies from a very hot Cape Town. Well, thank you so much for representing, and thank you for the 18 months membership to Royal Sussex. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you. Okay. And then let's go to present day. Now, notice that the price tags on Meghan are as big as Minnie Pearl's, right? They got her all priced up like Minnie Pearl. And over on Kate's side, they have these discreet little price tags, but Meghan's look like billboards. It looked like those. You ever see those guys standing on the side of the street spinning those signs? It looks like Meghan is about to spin those signs. Look at how humongous they are. They are more than double the size of the price tags used for Kate. And then let's get to the wording. Kate Middleton's 162,000-pound wardrobe, Princess cuts value of her clothing in 2023 by 15,000 pounds, despite her 32,000-pound Coronation Michael's fabric or Mike's Hobby Lobby headdress she was wearing, that glitter and glue headdress, that crepe paper glitter and glue headdress, which required 32,000 pounds. I like to see one of those Middleton bank statements, but I'm just saying. And then Meghan, oh, here we go. Meghan's Hollywood wardrobe, Duchess of Sussex, was seen in new clothes worth more than, I'm surprised it didn't say in excess of, 86,000 pounds in 2023 as she partied. There we go, a little more negativity. As she partied with A-listers and posed on the red carpets. So, in other words, Kate has a working wardrobe and Meghan's just hanging out, just partying with her Hollywood friends. Oh, wait a minute. She doesn't have any friends in Hollywood. Nobody talks to them in Hollywood. They are rejected in Hollywood. They are outcasts, right? They are Hollywood outcasts. So how could they have friends there? Huh. I guess it depends on what day of the week it is. If it's Monday, nobody talks to them. If it's Wednesday, they're walking the red carpet and partying with the A-listers. So, and there's that Hobby Lobby headdress of hers. That is the Hobby Lobby headdress. There goes 32,000 pounds. I wonder what happened to the rest of the money. Okay, you may have spent about 10 pounds on supplies, right? And then, of course, there was the help from some of the Cambridge kids to put it together. Okay, let's just say it like it is. The nannies did the work, and the kids got the credit for it, right? And then after that, they were left with the balance of that 32,000 pounds. What happened to the rest of the money? Carol, Carol. Oh, excuse me. Carol. Oh, my goodness. Let me clear my throat. Middleton. Middleton. What happened to the rest of that money? Carol. Oh, gosh. What is it? Oh, my sinuses. Yeah, I wonder what happened to the balance of that money. It had to go somewhere. Yes, it's no one's business. It's no one's business. This is all designed to conjure up hostility toward the Duchess of Sussex. And not only that, but to make reference to her as though she's related to Minnie Pearl. Howdy! Howdy! If you guys don't know, Minnie Pearl was one of the stars of Hee Haw. She was a comedian. I think she was from the Appalachia area, but she was a comedian. And for fun, she would wear a what was supposedly a new hat from the Five and Dime, but she would leave the price tag so she could take it back. Or she left the price tag so everybody would know how much she paid for it. So that's when I make that reference to Minnie Pearl. I am speaking of the famous comedian who was part of the gang of Hee Haw. Okay. Now, let me take that away. There we go. The also social royals, how Prince William and Catherine have resorted to Instagram and Twitter. They forgot about TikTok. To get their message across with cutting edge video montage and monthly recaps of their engagements. I'm telling y'all, they are falling over themselves to get to the young people. They want the Gen Z, the Gen X, Gen Z, uh, gin and tonic. They want all of the gin they can get. They are after them. And that's why William was talking about eggplants and aubergines. That's why William said somebody grabbed his butt, because they want people to make viral videos out of their boring moments. And so they are feeding them lines. What we are watching, folks, is a reality show. Will and Kate have a reality show. In all but name, it is a reality show. Behind the scenes and all of the fun, hip music, it's a reality show. It's reality TV. That's what it is. Spoiler, K's 32 thousand pound cake topper is from Party Pieces. Well, I knew it. I knew it. And I wonder who was running the credit card machine when they paid for it. Carol. Carol. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I wonder who was working the register when they went up there with the glitter and glue and that felt material. I wonder who was working the register that day. Carol. Somebody had their finger on the scale. Thank you, YM Droid. Now, royal rumors might be inspiring straight men to get pegged, and that's beautiful. So I remember the article. I remember Rolling Stone had that article, but I don't remember the part there where it says, quick, what's Prince William's legacy? Is it being second in line of succession to the British throne? Is it his belief, his his brief tenure as the cover star of countless issues of J14 and People's Sexiest Man Alive editions, and his subsequent disappearance from the publication after he hit his 30s and revealed himself to be genetically less aligned with his glamorous mother and more with his Danvers carrot resembling father? Or is it inadvertently popularizing a situation that had been most prominently associated with a tongue-in-cheek superhero franchise? I think they mean Daredevil. Well, I was trying to figure out what is a Danvers carrot. And then I realized after seeing it what they were talking about. They were talking about Charles III's gigantic hands looking like those carrots. So that is where the reference to Danvers carrots come from. And it does look like it looks like Charles' hands for sure. Yeah, bloated, stretched, lines and fusions of fusers going through it. Yeah, that definitely is it. But I tell you, I didn't know William was no longer on the cover after age 30. Is that when he stopped being a cover boy or the sexiest man alive? I don't remember him being the sexiest man alive, to be honest with you. But if they say so, if they say so. But even Harry made reference to William losing his good looks, his mother's good looks. And now he has given in to that, what is it? The inbred reptilian vertebraes, yellow teeth and all. Yellow teeth and all. Now, I know you all talked about this earlier on Petals, but if you did not see it, it is a worry. It is a worry. Those kids are not my responsibility. They're none of our responsibility. But I still recall when I saw Johnny Depp on Oprah years ago, and he said that being a teen idol, he found himself commoditized or commoditized. He was a commodity. And that is what's about to happen, is that they are going to wake up and they're going to see the papers. And those papers are going to tell them who they're giving a nod to with their clothing, who they look like, whose mannerisms they have, what they're thinking, who they get along with. And of course, what's also kind of scary is who is going to be the yang, the yin and yang, the opposite. So let's say we're going to cast Charlotte to be the goody two shoes. It might be a bit of a stretch to go after Louis. So maybe they're going to choose someone of the same gender. And yes, I was also bothered by the headline above the photo. And you cannot tell me that they don't do that deliberately. You cannot tell me that that's not deliberate. And I've seen this before. And sometimes they've had some doozies with Meghan's picture on the cover, only for you to take a closer look and find out that the big headline has nothing to do with the photo. You're right, Black Queen. I see it. I see it every time. I have been seeing it for a while. I see it every time. I see it every time. But anyway, you guys, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this because it's creepy to me. But we are seeing in real time the dissension into the lives of those kids. We're watching this real time. They are going to start thinking for them, explaining everything about them, their personalities and such. And then, of course, we learned the other day from Richard Kay that the influence that the Royal Rota and the tabloid media, the influence that they have on the royal children can lead to a lifetime of problems, of emotional problems. So let me find that again. Richard Kay.
Going forward is Bill Bridges in the United Kingdom in particular with their family.
Okay, it's not that one. It's the one where he said that Harry was not so bright.
Anyways, it was an incredible book. It was brilliantly written, not by Harry, of course, but by his ghostwriter. It has some fantastic phrases, but I never thought for one moment that we got Harry's inner soul on the pages. We got the inner soul of J.D. Muringer, the ghostwriter, who articulated many of his own views, it seemed to me, and distilled them through Harry. I mean, Harry is not a great creative thinker, as Katie and I know over many years. I mean, he doesn't have great depth, but this book presented him as a man with great depth who thinks about a great deal of things. But having said that, it was incredibly successful. It was very readable, and people and the public lapped it up. But they also accused him really of producing a misery memoir, which he was, with his litany of complaints, trivial beyond belief, against his father, his brother, his sister-in-law, his stepmother. I mean, the list goes on and on.
But you say he was a man without previous depths. We also know he's a man going through an awful lot of therapy. Is this Harry deep diving in his adult life? And is that what we were reading on the page, do you think?
Well, I don't know if I would say he didn't have, he's a person that doesn't have.
Astonishing success.
Okay, so that was, what's her name? Was it? No, it's not Roy Anika. That was, I forgot the other reporter, but she was saying that I wouldn't say that he, and then it got cut off. And I guess she was trying to say that she was, going to say that he's not that he definitely is not a person that should be considered as not having much depth. But Richard Kay, using the old party line to besmirch Harry's character, which is what they have been doing for so long, is that William smart, Harry not smart. William smart, Harry not smart. That is the program, and that is what they have programmed the public to believe. If you look at the two brothers and you try to decide who is really the smart one, who is the high achiever, if you will. I mean, between the two of them, Harry is the high achiever. Harry is the one who can have a vision and make it come true using a lot of his own talent. That's Richard Kay, by the way, using his own thoughts, his own force of will, his ability to negotiate with people. He can make things happen. He's not, anytime, whether it's the Travelers, Invictus, Well Child, Harry does not read those speeches like he is someone else's words. And so when Harry says, "This is my book and these are my words," I believe him. I don't remember Andre Agassi's memoir selling out. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Harry's memoir is the best-selling non-fiction fiction ever. And that's just the fact. And so Richard Kay is about, I don't know how many millions of copies too late. I don't know of anyone who has criticized having Moringer as the ghostwriter of the book. I don't know anyone who has criticized besides the royal rodents, the royal reporters, the so-called royal experts. And their robotic reaction to Harry's memoir lets you know that it is the party line. It's not what they believe, it's what they have agreed to share with the public. And even with the bombardment of negativity against Harry's book, it has still been the best-selling book in the UK. It still has been the best-selling book. Now, all of that nonsense was very effective when it came to Endgame, but it didn't touch Spare, not at all. If anything, it only sold more books. It didn't work. And just like a robot, he just can't turn it off. Like some autonomous machine, he's still trying to make people believe that Harry is not intelligent. Harry's emotional intelligence is off the charts. But he's in touch with the information. He has a firm understanding of the information. Without an earpiece and a producer in his ear, Harry has sat there and has spoken with Oprah, with that Dr. Mota, whatever his name is. I've seen him with Stephen Colbert. And y'all know Stephen Colbert is pretty sharp. And he held his own with all of the above mentioned and then some. So what more does it take until these people stop trying to sell this idea that Harry's not altogether there? And the way that Harry is able to manage an interview, you don't walk away from one of his interviews with the idea that, oh my goodness, that's he didn't explain that clearly. Yes, he did. He's very clear. He's very precise. So yeah, it's disgusting. Thank you, Legs, that they continue this. Harry's not that bright, but it's not working. People were so impressed with those 4 interviews that Harry did that what was it? It was the best interview or the best segment they had on 60 Minutes for a long time. Stephen Colbert for 2 years. And I believe Tom Bradby won an award. Tom Bradby won an award for his interview with Harry. The ghostwriter did both memoirs. Yes, he did. Andre Agassi. Even the faces look very identical. Well, not identical, but you know what I mean. The style of the cover, the gaze directly into the camera. They're very identical. So I don't know if Moringer was the one who selected the photographer, but essentially the books are styled very much the same, and they have the same ghostwriter. That is true. Thank you so much for that point, Legs. So Legs' point, of course, I believe is that Andre Agassi also had Moringer, and his book didn't do so well. That's because it was Agassi's words. Harry's book, with Harry's words, is the best-selling nonfiction of all time. So got it. Thank you so much, Legs. Okay. Exactly, TMC CD. Exactly. Harry is so dense, yet his their queen sent him around the world. Yes, as a UK royal ambassador, which he carried out impeccably. Yes, he did. What an awesome poetic justice it is. His punishment has now endeared him. Yes. Obviously, the government trusted Harry, the Queen trusted Harry, and the people that he's visited around the world have a new or a continued respect for Harry, as well as the fact that they probably trust him. There's a lot of people that have a great relationship with Harry since he was a teenager, and that continues today. They don't know William, but they know Harry. Harry is the one that saved, what was it, Jamaica from getting rid of the Queen? Wasn't the president or the prime minister of Jamaica? And then Harry jumps off that plane in that wrinkled, crumpled suit like Columbo. And and she was waiting with that red dress trying to intimidate him. And next thing you know, she was like, get over here, holding his hand and hugging him and kissing him. And disaster averted. She was talking tall stuff before Harry got off that plane. His suit didn't even fit right. And next thing you know, she was like, what independence? What? No, what republic? Yeah, what republic? I ain't say nothing about no republic. Stop playing. Yes, William didn't even make it on Jeopardy. He didn't even make it on Jeopardy. William is just not popular. And a lot of people, believe it or not, there's a lot of people who doesn't even know who he is. They don't even know who William is. It's hard to believe, but there are people who do not know William. They all know Harry. They don't know William. Let me see here. Oh, let me see if I have that. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 bum, 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 but boom, boom. Let me see. M. Covington, thank you so much for 5 months membership. Greetings to all my squaddies. Glad to see everyone. Keep the good fight going. Thank you so much, M. Covington. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. So, you guys, I was saying earlier that I have lost a lot of the, what do you call it? I lost some of the stuff from the other PC. However, I do want you to know I do have certain things still. So don't despair. Not everything is a complete loss. I promise that there's it's just that I would have to re-edit those particular things. You know what I mean? So they're not gone for good. They just have to be edited again. So don't despair. It's not a complete loss. It just is just a matter of putting it back together again. So, and some of them I don't even have to do that. Some of them are already the way they should be. And guess what I found today? As a matter of fact, I will share it with you later, but I did find something today that I know some of you all were worried about, but I will share it with you later. So it's not completely gone. None of it is completely gone. Nothing is a total washout. Let me get Richard K. Let me get her off the screen. Because she gives me gas. I can't stand her. I cannot stand her. Let me see. And I have to say, these documentaries are designed to mislead. They are designed to mislead. And that's exactly what they intend to do, is to mislead people as much as possible. Okay. So this is what I can do. All right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Give me a second here. Okay. Let me get rid of this. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So 1 second, you guys. Wasn't planning to do this, but since we're on the topic, I shall, and I will. Okay. Now, one more piece of this puzzle. Oh, let me get this Pochal off of this screen. One more piece of this puzzle.
William was given the title Duke of this place.
Oh, sorry about that, you guys. That was way too loud. Sorry, that was way too loud. Whew, let me turn that down. That was too loud. Sorry about that. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, let me try it again.
Prince William was given the title Duke of this place. He's now the Duke of Cambridge. Despite living in the U.S., Prince Harry and Meghan Markle retained their titles Duke and Duchess of this place. M.
What is Sussex?
Correct. On his
Uh-huh.
wedding day in 2011, Prince William was given the title Duke of this place. He's now the Duke of Cambridge. Despite living in the U.S., Prince Harry and Meghan Markle retained their titles Duke and Duchess of this place. M.
What is Sussex?
Correct.
So, as you can hear there, that was the two things. On his wedding day in 2011, Prince William was given the title Duke of this place. Nobody knew. Nobody knew Cambridge. But when it came to Harry, the three contestants, what is Sussex? I mean, they all chimed in. They were all trying to get it out there. But of course, only one of them could be the one to do it. And what is Sussex? I mean, she said it so fast it would make your head spin. What is Sussex? Woo! So what does that tell you guys? What does that tell you? Simply the best. That's all. Everybody knows Harry. Not everybody knows William or knows all there is to know about them. So, yeah, so all right. Now check it out. Dr. Shola had a spot of bother. Shola, go back to Nigeria or wherever or whatever country you came from. You are racist and not a good person to be in England. And of course, Dr. Shola says, if I'm racist, then I'm already home in institutionally racist England, my country of birth, racist assemble. You get it? Like what was that on the Avengers? Avengers assemble. But yeah, so that's Dr. Shola really socked it to him with that one. And so I added that little photo on the right side. You can see, as a strong Black woman, I think we Blacks talk too much about racism. Well, obviously, what do they call it? Blackfishing? I don't know that that person who is featured in that tweet, I don't know if that person is a person of color or a Black person, or is that a person of color who thinks there's something else or they're checking for somebody else. But whatever the case may be, I kind of think that is not what it appears to be. So even if Dr. Shola is not going to say it, I'll say it by using that little meme there on the right side. M. Covington, Baron, just want you to know that I've been around a lot longer than 5 months, but my membership restarted when I switched over from Patreon. Well, thank you, M. Covington. I believe that I was very aware of that. And thank you so much. I didn't think it just started 5 months ago, but I appreciate you saying so. But yeah, I mean, you've been here for quite some time, and I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for supporting Royal Sussex. And thank you, M. Covington, for saying that. If you guys can please move over from Patreon to a membership on the YouTube, I would really appreciate it, because Patreon is like maintaining another social media channel. And I would rather focus my time on Royal Sussex instead of trying to maintain all of the perks and everything that go into the Patreon. It's more work than I need right now. So if you do have a membership, you're perfectly welcome to leave it there. But at a certain point, I'm going to close out the Patreon. So I'm going to see how many people are still there by the end of this month, and then we'll decide what to do. So thank you again, M. Covington, and thank you for being a member. Diane Hawkins, also a member. Diane Hawkins became a YouTube member. Oh, so you've had a membership before, I'm sure of that too. But thank you so much. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And let's see, Cass Sterling, Happy New Year all. I've been off for a while as my mental health has been out of whack. Wishing everyone here all the best for the new year. Well, thank you so much, Cass Sterling, and thank you for sharing that with us. It is a reminder for everyone. If you need to take some time away from social media, do not hesitate. We'll be here when you get back. But you got to take care of yourself first. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help anybody. So that's very important. I'd rather you be present for yourself than here where your mental health is in the balance. So great reminder, Cass Sterling. And thank you so much for the super chat. And I promise you tomorrow, I got to put that humidifier back on. I want to clean it out, and that's why I haven't put it on. But having stagnant water is never a good thing. So I got to clean it out properly and then refill it and use it again because it is super dry in here. Okay, was this the last slide? No, it wasn't. Oh, I still got this to talk about, right? King Charles should follow Denmark's example and tell us when he'll abdicate. Well, somebody's in a rush. I'm sorry, I lost the T, but it should not he abdication. The abdication of Queen Marguerite of Denmark in favor of her son Frederick is a sign of sensible constitutional monarchy. The 82-year-old queen felt time was running out and the ills were increasing. It was best to hand over now. In this, Marguerite follows the abdication over the past decade or so of monarchs in the Netherlands, Belgium, and Spain. Oh, I didn't know they had one in Belgium. It is now being pressed on the 77-year-old Carl Gustaf of Sweden. Heredity is an indefensible basis for holding the high office. It survives only in the direst of dictatorships and the most liberal of democracies. Of course, in democracies, it is impotent, merely embodying in one person the ceremonial functions of a monarchical head of state. Its mystique survives simply by remaining popular. That's right. As the Queen say, I must be seen to be believed. But so I was trying to make a list of all the people that abdicated, and the curveball, of course, is Belgium. I totally overlooked that one. But let me just give you an example of some abdications. Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands abdicated in favor of her son, Willem Alexander, and he's going to stay until his daughter becomes the next queen. Now, okay. Just popped myself in the eye, clipping the nail. And right there, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands also abdicated because of illness. She decided to get out of there because she didn't feel good. Although she lived to be 92, but she died, I forgot when she died, but I think it was 1972, and she took the throne in 48, I believe. And there's also Queen Juliana, who abdicated in favor of, wait a minute, I think I got the order wrong. It was, okay, Wilhelmina for Juliana and Juliana for Beatrix. Right. So Juliana abdicated in favor of Beatrix, also citing health. And then, of course, Juan Carlos, who has been banished from Spain on occasion because he's such an embarrassment. He has had some very shady financial dealings with people. He goes to Africa and shoot big game like elephants. He even lied about an injury, saying that he fell. But the truth is, he was shooting at an elephant and fell backwards and broke his hip. He is, Juan Carlos at one time was a hero to the people of Spain. As a matter of fact, he was a hero to a lot of people anywhere in the world because there was a coup attempt in Spain, and somehow he managed to go on television and asserted his authority as king. And I believe that and something else caused the rebellion to collapse, the coup attempt to collapse. They were trying to put Spain back into a civil war, and he kind of stopped it. But he's been taking money. And I showed you all a chart yesterday. The least expensive monarchy in all of Europe is Spain. The least expensive is Spain. And that being said, it seems as though Juan Carlos has been kind of dipping in the pot, so to speak. And he's causing embarrassment. And people don't like that. So let me show you the chart if I have it handy. Oh, no, that's not it. I will show you the order of expense in Europe. Wait, that's number one. Oh, there it is. Oh, is that it? No. Oh, that can't be it. Oh, no, that's September. Why would I have September there? No, September. Anyway, I'll show you later. And take a look there. There's Edward the Eighth, King Edward the Eighth. He, of course, abdicated because he was in that relationship with Wallace Simpson. And I don't think it was just so much that he abdicated, but they drove him away. He didn't have the support of the church. I think Winston Churchill didn't like him. And all that stuff about him being a Nazi. I seeing the way the royal family operates, I don't know how much I believe that. I'm just going to say that. I know that may sound a bit ignorant and naive, but I just don't know how much I believe that. Only because we know how that institution operates. We know how shady they could be. And I'm not compelled to just take their word for it. I'm just not. So I might be wrong to say otherwise, but don't know if I believe it. Just don't know. Don't know. I mean, it's not to say that he didn't have an improper relation with certain people, but was it as they said? I don't know. And I'm not one of those conspiracy theory people that just have to find some kind of, something. But I think they wanted him out for other reasons. Yeah. Okay. So there it is. As you can see, Norway. Oh no, what am I saying? Norway. UK, the most expensive, 345 million pounds. Although they try to say it's about 100 million pounds, but I think the actual cost is 345. The Netherlands is next. Norway seems to be half of the Netherlands And Sweden seems to be half of Norway. Don't know what the actual numbers are. And then there's Belgium, Denmark, and Spain at about 7 million euros a year maintains their royal family. 7 million euros. That is a fraction of what it costs to keep those Windsors happy. So, and then of course, surprise, surprise, Emperor Akihito of Japan also abdicated. So that one was a shockaroo. And okay, so let's see here. You got anyway, I just threw that in there for fun. And then, of course, Willie Leaks has been waiting patiently, but yet at the same time, he has been speaking out about what he would do different, what he's going to change. I'm not going to be like my father. I'm not going to be like my grandmother. The Commonwealth can go to hell. I mean, he's got some high-minded ideas about what he wants to change. He's been walking around singing, "Oh, I just can't wait to be king." I mean, he's been doing the most. He has been doing the most, and he doesn't care who's listening. He made big statements right after the coronation. Who does that? Who does that? And then, of course, there's this sly look. I'm disturbed by that look. I'm telling you, Charles should never go down steps before him. He should always allow Willie to go first. And if that doesn't work, there's another way to do things. Let me see. William views King Charles III's reign as transitional and is in heir mode, expert says. So Willie doesn't seem to care if Charles became a hobo, boxcar Charlie. He just doesn't seem to care. He doesn't seem to care what anybody thinks about his over-the-top comments like, I'm going to be a world leader or whatever he said. He wants to be seen as a global statesman. That's what he said. He wants to be a global statesman. Although the government doesn't even allow him and Kitty to even go and tour the Commonwealth or anyplace else. And I'm not sure they want to go if they could, if they wanted to. I don't know if they would want to go. They've caused so much problem when they went to, so how bad, I ask, how bad do you really want to visit the Commonwealth? I say not so bad. I mean, because they made such a mess of it. So better to, I don't know. I would follow the government's lead and just not do anything, because otherwise they are going to get themselves in trouble again. Let me see here. Let me see. And then you do remember what happened last time, right? Or do you? Y'all remember what happened last time? Let me refresh your tea.
Yes, Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
So, as you can see, I still have Trenchtown Man. So I still have some of them. I just have to find them. That's all. So all is not lost. All right. Anyway, I dub the Ye Royal family boring. And everybody knows it. So, as I was saying, if they can't shame Charles off the throne, if they cannot humiliate him, if they cannot coerce him into quitting, if those yellow and black placards won't do it, then they can just do the same thing that they did before. Only this time they'll do it to him instead of him doing it to someone else, right? Because that is how they got rid of the other monarch, right? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just saying, you know, if you know, you know. That's how they got rid of the other monarch. Didn't last too long after that. All you got to do is go to lunch. Go out and be in a crowd and then go to lunch. Go over to, what is that? Clarence House or Burke Hall or Dumfries. Wherever they're holding up, just go over there. Might have to go out to a club and lick the side of a stranger's wine glass or whiskey glass or something like that. But eventually, or go visit, like, go to a grammar school. There's lots of germs there. And then, of course, all you have to do is just say, hey, we'll be over for lunch Tuesday. And next thing you know, your problems have vanished. You can make arrangements. Let me see here. Did Baron put that music to William dancing, or was that music really playing? That music makes it more funny. Well, the thing is, Mary H., because of the copyright, sometimes I have to dub things in order to use the video. The video is fine, but the music or whatever may not be. So sometimes I have to take a little license, but it was fun though, right? I like it. It was fun. Let's see, Lydia Avicus, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And Happy New Year to you. So, if all else fails, if nobody else wants it, maybe they could beg the Ginger Avenger to take the throne. It may as well have someone that everybody likes, because not everybody likes the rest of those people. But Harry has always been a favorite. Even what's his hoghead name? Piers Morgan wrote that article about Harry being the most desired, the most amazing choice for future monarch. Of course, things have changed since then, but Piers Morgan did say it. I made that video based on his comments, and I didn't tell people until the end that it was Piers Morgan who said those glowing things about Harry as king. I didn't tell anybody. But Piers Morgan, let me see. He cited some good reasons why William was not a good choice, but Harry would be. So, okay. And I think this should be the last slide. Oh, and then there's this. I spoke about Arthur Edwards the other day, and I think this was like some gag gift that they gave him from the Sun, old age prince or whatever. At least I think that is real. Raise your glass to the old age prince. I think that is a real magazine cover or newspaper cover. But there's a very close relationship between the son, Arthur Edwards, and of course, Charles and Camilla. And Camilla is also cultivating a relationship with Lord Nappyhead, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Fail. They seem to be close. So that they are not embarrassed, ashamed, or hesitant to put on full display their close relationship to what is supposed to be the most objective people in the land, the media. The monarchy is very close to them people. So um, hopefully it'll come back to bite them in the behind. And with that, you guys, we are done tonight. Thank you so much, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. And again, Happy New Year to you all. It's been a pleasure having you here. And of course, as I always say, don't worry about our faves because they are being watched over and they are being prayed for by all of the aunties in the Sussex squad. So they're going to be okay. Let's see. Parliament chose the monarch. Parliament removed James II and put his cousin George I on the throne. Then Parliament forced out the Edward VIII, Duke of Windsor. Yeah, I think that they just forced him out. That whole thing about him being a Nazi, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. It's too convenient. It's so neat and tidy. And the idea that the Queen confronted him like in The Crown, I don't buy that either. I just don't. All that stuff with the Queen in The Crown, I just don't buy it. Of course, we don't know the Queen. The Queen is like an empty vessel. You can fill it any way you like. And whatever beverage or whatever drink or liquid you put in there, that's what's going to come back out. Because the Queen didn't say much, and nobody knows what the Queen's thoughts are about most topics, except for when she compared somebody to being a gorilla. And I think when she called that man, well, when she made that gorilla joke, I think we kind of got an idea, right? But I think we understand. Maybe that's why we never seen that documentary broadcast on television again. Somebody had to sneak a tape onto the YouTube for people to see it. But yeah, so she wasn't above comparing people to a gorilla. That was interesting, right? When I saw that, that was my reaction. That was interesting. Interesting. Oh, let's see. I got my froth mixer for Clever Blend today. So happy. Very cool, S. Very cool. And you know what? That frother holds a charge for a long time. You put the the same thing you charge a phone or whatever device, your Bluetooth, whatever, that kind of plug. You can charge the frother, and it holds that charge for a very long time. I mean, you can come back months later, and there's still a charge on there to froth something. So that's impressive. And you could also use it for hot chocolate. If you make hot chocolate, you can do it the same way you do the Clever Blend. You just fill it up a little bit, go ahead and mix it, and then you can pour in the rest of the milk or hot water or whatever. And you could also make yourself a mocha latte at home. I sometimes take the hot chocolate and the coffee, put the coffee like right in with the hot chocolate and frothed it, and then pour some more coffee and make myself a little at-home mocha. So yeah, you could do that too. Okay, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I'm sure we'll be on earlier tomorrow. I'm not going to be running around trying to sort out things like I did today. So we will be on earlier tomorrow, but never ask me the time because I don't know either. Um, but we will be on. Sometimes when I'm working on a project or something, I I have to work on it. It's just something that I have to do. So you'll be amazed at some of the editing that I get hung up on, and I look up and an hour has gone by. 2 hours have gone by. And yeah, it's just my little thing. So um when I'm working on something, I really get involved, and it's hard for me to do something else, and least of all on schedule. So um it's just one of my little quirky things, but I will try to be on earlier tomorrow because I don't want to be on this late most days. Let me see. And where's Connie Ballmer? I thought she'd be up by now. But anyway, in advance, Connie Ballmer! Okay, got that out my system. I'm looking for something interesting to close with today. Let me see. Something interesting to close. I mean, I did that other thing yesterday, and that was fun, but there's got to be something. Let me see. I'll find something. Nope, I don't like that one. Let me see. But good night, you all. Don't stick around if you don't have to, because I am so done. Okay, I haven't done this one in a while. The 7 cardinal rules in life. Make peace with your past so it won't screw up the present. Number 2, what others think of you is none of your business. Number 3, time heals almost everything. Give it time. Number 4, don't compare your life to others. And don't judge them. You have no idea what their journey is all about. Number 5, stop thinking too much. It's all right to not know the answer. They will come to you when you least expect it. Number 6, no one's is in charge of your happiness except for you. No one is in charge of your happiness except for you. And number 7, this is the last one, smile. You don't own all the world's, and I'm sorry, you don't own all the problems in the world. So smile. You do not own all the problems in the world, right? Let it go. Let go. What is it? Live and let live. Let it go. Allow people to experience life. Don't try to solve everybody's problems. And especially if you are holding back on getting involved with people too much, when something really happens, then you will have the moral authority to step in and give advice or make changes. But if you're doing it every time, you're just going to make people very nervous and reactive around you. Yeah. So it's a balancing act. All things in moderation, whether it's food, wine, or getting involved in other people's life. You want to use moderation, because if you're hounding people and riding them, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. So I hope that was helpful. So thank you. Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow, sooner rather than later. And let's end with the Ginger Avenger.